This is Kurt from Madison ModPo, and today we are going to talk about Love Calls Us to the Things of This World by Richard Wilbur. Jim is on my right, Lou is on my left, and Lou will lead us in discussion of Wilbur's poem.
Okay, well, I would like to take advantage of this to read from the Bible, if I could. And the reading is the first epistle of John, and it's chapter 2, and it's verse 15 through 17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world and the lust of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Can you give that, what's the passage again?
Sure, it's the first epistle of John, not the Gospel of John, but the first epistle of John, second chapter, verse 15 through 17.
Thanks.
And that's what the title of this brought to mind to me as I began to read this poem, because the title of the poem is Love Calls Us to the Things of This World, which is just the opposite of what John is telling us in that passage. And I will read it for us. Love calls us to the things of this world. The eyes open to a cry of pullings, and spirited from the sleep, the astounded soul hangs for a moment, bodiless and simple as false dawn. Outside the open window, the morning air is all awash with angels. Some are in bed sheets, some in blouses, some are in smocks, but truly they are. Now they are rising together in calm swells of halcyon feeling, filling whatever they wear with the deep joy of their impersonal breathing. Now they are flying in place, conveying the terrible speed of their omnipresence, moving and staying like white water. And now of a sudden they swoon down, so rapt a quiet that nobody seems to be there. The soul shrinks from all that it is about to remember, from the punctual rape of every blessed day, and cries, "Oh, let there be nothing on earth but laundry, nothing but rosy hands in rising steam, and clear dances done in the sight of heaven." Yet, as the sun acknowledges with a warm look the world's hunks and colors, the soul descends once more in bitter love to accept the waking body, saying now in a charged voice as the man yawns and rises, "Bring them down from the ruddy gallows. Let there be clean linen for the backs of thieves. Let lovers go fresh and sweet to be undone." And then I have to turn the page. "And the heaviest nuns walk in pure floating of dark habits, keeping their difficult balance." This is a poem by Richard Wilbur, an amazing man. He's won 2 Pulitzer Prizes. He won the Robert Frost Medal. He fought in World War II. He is the noted translator of French theater and French poetry. This is a spiritual poem, and the main characters in this poem are spirits. And although there are objects, the laundry are the objects, but they're only a vessel which holds the spirits and makes a place for the spirits and allows the spirits to actually have fun. The spirits play in the laundry. They rustle and they embody. They're in the laundry, which is, it turns out in the end, simply laundry, and it's simply clothes. And then let's use these clothes for the backs of thieves, for lovers who go fresh and sweet, but they're undone. That's the reality of the world.
Some people, if they're watching this, are so young, they don't really know about hanging laundry in the yards.
I was going to ask you, have any of you guys actually lived in a place where you did that? Or
Yes,
where
my
people
mother
it
did
for
it.
you?
Yeah.
And so take the laundry outside, have the pins to hold them
That's
down
right.
on a
With
single plastic coated little rope.
Clothespins, yeah.
and the image of the nun
Yeah.
in the absolutely crisp, white, clean garb.
Then the ambiguity of that last line, because the habits, of course, could refer to the dress of the nun, but
Well,
also,
their habits,
or their habits of behavior.
right?
Dark habits.
And the very last line, again, all by itself, one line, saying that their balance is difficult.
And I wonder what is being balanced, and is it this balance between the daily routine and the divine?
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
The prosaic and the spiritual.
Or the
quotidian.
balance between their faith in what they're doing and perhaps not so happy with what they're doing.
The human desire.
Right. Always there's a balance between faith and doubt. And when nuns walk down, especially big, heavy nuns walk down the street, you can visualize what's, it's difficult balance for them.
I wonder if it isn't, just in its plain meaning, difficult to walk in a habit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um,
Or is it
constrictive.
difficult to walk in the faith of a nun?
Let there be clean linen for the backs of the.
Clean laundry just isn't for the pure, it's also for whoever needs it. No, they need clean laundry.
Sure.
Too. Even if they're despicable people, they still need clean laundry.
There you go.
and I hear thieves in the sort of, when I'm thinking of a Christian poet, I think of, well, Jesus was crucified
Yes, with thieves.
between two thieves
Right.
who were
I
also
thought the same
crucified
thing.
at the same time.
Right.
Just going to the beginning, the cry of pulleys, which you can just hear the rust, and the squeak. But the word cry there, later he uses the word cries. I'm not sure if there's a significance to it, but spirited, what a great word to use in that sense.
Spirited from sleep.
Yeah, you're just, spirited can mean like a transported, but it also, of course, can mean, or
And the thing that wakes you up, it can't be more common. Bang, you have to wake up.
and this refers to, in the second line, spirited from sleep, the astonished soul hangs for a moment, bodiless. And is it the soul of the person narrating the poem, or the person who's waking up, is that his or her soul that is astounded?
Because I don't think there's any difference. The person who's waking up is the poet.
All right, well, and so the soul is outside of this poet, let's say, and it hangs for a moment bodiless, outside of the body of this person.
I see what you mean. So he's saying the soul is separate from,
Maybe.
The body,
I'm going with that at least
but
for.
only a moment bodiless.
Well, and then is the shaping of the soul seen then in the sheets. But there are, I guess I should distinguish soul from angels. Those are two different things. But it hangs for a moment. What's false dawn? While we're talking, I'll look up false dawn.
But it seems to me that he's woken by the cry of the pulley, which means to me that whoever's doing the laundry is hanging it, which must mean it's the beginning of the day for that person.
Merriam-Webster defines false dawn as a faint light on the eastern horizon sometime before dawn.
He hears the pulleys moving, so somebody's moving the pulley. That's not the wind. That's
Yes.
somebody hanging laundry.
It's not something that's false or
It's
or
real.
It's real, but it precedes.
It's a portender.
It's
It precedes.
an inkling.
It portends that day is coming.
Yes.
Because there is light in the sky before the sun rises.
Right. That is so common, but the poet infuses this common thing with magic and with
love.
spirits and with love. Right.
With love.
Yeah. The wind suddenly is embodied in
And it's just outside the window.
it's just outside his window.
I think that in some sense it reminds me of the first poem where
The Oppen poem.
right
So,
where truth is embodied in existence.
mhm.
And the truth here is love.
Love in the sense of feeling the miracle, seeing
Yes.
the miracle of life here.
Yes.
One of my favorite lines in this poem comes at the end of this stanza. The morning air is all awash with angels.
With angels.
So awash, Merriam-Webster, alternately covered and exposed by waves or tide, washing about, covered with water. That's the first definition. Second meaning of awash, filled, covered, or completely overrun, as
Right.
if by a flood. And I think that's the
Yeah.
sense of the word being used.
Yeah.
The sound is really gorgeously crafted. Air, all awash, angels, and then the meaning of awash. You know, you have it's full of, but it also it's washing the laundry. So then the laundry has been hung, and sees for a moment, or at least sees the absolute likeness of these swinging with the wind clothes. It's like they're full of angels.
Filling whatever they wear with the deep joy of their impersonal breathing.
And then I gather that the laundry is being pulled down from the line.
Yeah.
That is, and now of a sudden they swoon down into so rapt a quiet that nobody seems to be there.
I took that to mean that the wind gusts
Wind died down. Well, that could be.
and what was fully filling these with motion and actually filling them so they had a substance. The shirts were full of wind, and so they looked like perhaps a spiritual being. And then the wind dies,
And it looks
And
like
they all
nobody's
just-
there because they're just,
they just hang in there.
yeah, they're lifeless.
So the angels went away.
But then the soul shrinks from all that it is about to remember.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, the soul is the poet to me,
Mm-hmm.
and he's about to realize that he's in a real day, and that real days aren't very nice. The punctual rape of every blessed day.
And what is it? I have
And let there be nothing on earth but laundry.
Right.
And there's much more than that.
Let's go back to this punctual rape. I mean, I have a real problem, particularly, well, it's a metaphor that he's invoking. And it happens every blessed day, but it's just such a hard, awful
Yeah.
invasion. And it's almost as, just to see it used casually in a metaphor just bothers me, I guess from a certain moral sense.
The term punctual rape means punctual has to do with time.
Time.
You're on time.
Yep.
And not only that, it has a connotation of it happens more than once. At least that's the way I think this, because it's
Yeah.
the punctual rape of every day.
blessed day, yeah.
So time itself invades us, from the spiritual qualities of angels to the hard reality of another day with which we have to do.
And another load of laundry to be done.
Or whatever else it is.
Whatever other
And
burdens
it's
you have.
unpleasant because the day is not, it's a blessed day, but it's raped.
So, and then Anne cries.
And
So
cries.
who does the crying here? This looks like the soul shrinks, then two prepositional phrases, from and from, and cries. The soul shrinks and cries.
Right.
And then there are two quotes in this poem, right? Two things set off the quotations. So one is, let there be nothing on earth but laundry.
And the clear dances. It's all one quote, isn't it?
Yeah.
So nothing but laundry, and the clear dances done in heaven, or done in the sight of heaven.
And the man yawns and rises and puts his clothes on.
Right.
The soul descends once more in bitter love.
In bitter love.
Meaning what? That it can't be with the angels right now, or it's not going to perceive the angels. It's been in a separate heavenly existence, but now it has to go to the temporal.
That's right.
Yes. The quotidian, the prosaic.
To accept the
And
waking
he
body.
precedes that by what the world is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really real. It's hunks
And colors.
and colors. And hunks are a wonderful, wonderful which compression
Yeah.
of material reality. That's what material reality is, hunks.
So, the soul accepts the waking body, and it must be the soul saying now, in a changed voice as the man yawns and rises, bring them down from their ruddy gallows. Reference to
Right.
the clothes.
Gallows. Don't you love that?
Yes. So the gallows are the condemned to be in a awful prison. Does it imply one's death is going to come?
Well,
But it certainly
doesn't it imply the repetitive, burdensome nature of daily life?
from their ruddy gallows. We are imprisoned in our daily existence and
Yeah.
in the habits of what we do
Yes.
to stay as part of living.
And laundry would be a good example of a repetitive habit.
Again, it's
But he celebrates it then, right?
But he's taking it out of that.
the gallows are a metaphor for the clothesline.
That's right.
And it adds a real profound aspect to the clothesline. And the angels were hanging from that clothesline at one time. They were dancing in the clothes. The angels were
In the wind,
in the wind, and now,
embraced by the sun.
And rather than that holy vision that we're going to see,
these are gallows.
we are going to accept the temporal, and we're going to sing about it, and we're going to celebrate it. Let there be clean linen for the backs of
Right.
thieves.
Let there be clean linen.
Let lovers go fresh and sweet to be undone. So there's a recognition of celebration, even in the face of sin, even in the face of thievery.
And the title again, you have to go back and ask why this poem is titled Love Calls Us to the Things of This World.
I have a little bit on that.
When God says you're not supposed to love the things of this world.
No.
It's if only bad people love the things of this world.
That's right.
Good people love God. Really, what a contrast if you try to think about that at all.
Well, this critic says love calls us to the things of this world is taking its title from the words of St. Augustine. And I don't know enough about St. Augustine, but I thought I read somewhere else that his philosophy or his beliefs were that God manifests himself in the world. In other words, it's sort of the opposite position of what you just read in John. Wilbur himself was quoted on a couple aspects of this poem. He expresses his suspicion of any kind of idealism or spirituality contemptuous towards the body and what we call material.
Mm-hmm.
He explains his concern with bringing the body and the spirit to terms. As one of my poems, and this is Wilbur saying, as one of my poems says, in effect, the angels have got to come down and dwell among us to be useful to us. And elsewhere he says, I can believe in angels by way of and in laundry. I find laundry a great help to the conception of angels. And I suppose I'm saying in that poem that I don't really want to have much truck with angels who aren't in the laundry, who aren't involved in the everyday world.
I think it's great.
When I first read this poem, the angels really were there. If the laundry was like the angels who were present. Only when I read it again did I get more of the sense that the laundry looked angelic, but the angels, whether they were there or not, maybe not so much. But
I took it to mean that the angels were, they were out floating around one day and they saw this laundry and they thought, here is a way we can be embodied. This will give us
well, that's good.
a physical being for a while.
A chance to be seen.
To be seen, right? To really be seen. To do something, physical.
Yeah, I think that the poem definitely can be read that way.
And they had a good time. They had a really good time.
Frolicking in the laundry.
Yeah.
I think it can be read your way. I think it can be read, this was just laundry looking like angels.